Work session meeting called to order. We're on to item A, proclamation recognizing September as Hunger Action Month.
There's nobody here.
Okay, we're on to item B, city manager's report on issues raised at prior council meetings.
None at this time.
Item C, special events applications.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The first application is a request to use Springwood Park on October 26th for the Alchemy Gathering. The annual Jersey Shore Rescue Mission coat giveaway would be on November 16th. Lunch for Recovery on February 8th. Garden State Film Festival has 2 requests to use the Senior Center and the City Council Chambers on March 28th and 29th. And we have a wedding on October 12th on 3rd Avenue Beach. Are there any questions? Nope. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Tisha. We're on to item E, review of agenda items for the September 25th regular meeting.
Thank you. Resolution 2019-311 is a special event application. 312 is approving membership for the 3 years of the New Jersey Intergovernmental Insurance Fund, the NJIIF. And Resolution 2019-313 is a Chapter 159 for monies received from the Drunk Driving Enforcement Fund. Is there any questions on 3 consent items? Moving forward to individual resolutions, 314 is approving of bills. 315 is amending the contract with French and Borello Associates for the LSRP services for the DPW garage for change order number 1. This is for the delineation of a plume that has been ongoing for 4 years, maybe 5 years in the Public Works garage. 316 is awarding of a contract from Millennium Communications Group for police department cameras. This is going to be reimbursed from the prosecutor's office. There is no cost to the city for these additional cameras. Resolution 317 is amending a contract with Mom and County for senior services. We got extra money in a grant. This amends the contract stating that we're receiving more money. 318 and 319 are resolutions for the waterfront. One is for the RDA and one is for the infrastructure component court, amending both to comply with items before the planning board from last night's meeting. These have been discussed previously. If there's any questions, we'll pull these 2 out. And moving forward to 2019-300, that's 545 Lake Urban Renewal LLC. This is an agreement that we have to enter via the court. So please vote positively on this as per the judge's order. Is there any questions on the individual resolutions? There is a bunch of ordinances for second reading.
Let me just go back to.
Yeah, I have some questions.
Okay. Let me just go back to 2019-300. You're right. Just so the public knows, this was a pilot program given out by a previous mayor and council that was good for like 10 years. And we said that's ridiculous. And we went to court and we fought it and we lost. So yes, we have to give them the pilot. It was given 10 years ago. So we're not happy about it, but we took a best shot to try to say no. And I just want people to know that it's the first pilot given since the Sweeney bill of S2. So not happy with it, but the judge's decision. Thank you.
I just got a question about the cameras that are going in on 316. I see on either side, but there's nothing on the side of the buildings that are facing Springwood Avenue. Is that because there are already cameras there?
No.
You can't answer much more in public or else we'll know where the cameras are at.
I'm sorry.
I did that once and he yelled at me.
Yes, 700.
Okay. Never mind.
That's it. Okay.
Hopefully you have to.
We are on to matters from the city council.
Okay.
So last year, we did a city committee information session at the Springwood Senior Center, where we brought together all of the commissions and committees throughout the city and had representatives speak to the public about all of these commissions, all of these committees, what they do, and try to encourage some new residents to join. So we're having another one of these city committee information sessions on Wednesday, October 16th at 7 o'clock. Please tell all your neighbors and friends to come on out. We'd love to have new people join our committees. Also, the Deal Lake Commission is holding a stormwater management session for property owners on Thursday, October 17th at 6:30. And there is an electric scooter trial and safety session sponsored by the City of Asbury Park on Sunday, 9/29, from 10 to 3 in Kennedy Park. So all you people who want to come out and ride our scooters, come on out and get trained first. That's it.
Tomorrow, at 3 o'clock, there's gonna be a ribbon cutting celebrating the city's new electric vehicle charging stations. The address is on Madison Avenue between Main and Bond, and again, that's at 3 p.m., and all are invited to come out and celebrate and see the stations and see electric cars. On Friday, September 27th, the Monmouth County Workforce Development is having their fall job fair. This is an opportunity for full-time, part-time, temporary employment, and internships. So anyone who is interested in employment, this is the place to go. There are like over 150 companies that are going to be in attendance. It's taking place at Brookdale Community College, Collins Avenue, Newman Springs Road, Newman Park, and the hours are from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's also wheelchair accessible. And lastly, on Friday, October 12th, the Quality of Life Committee is having an event called Pride in the Park, and it's having a number of different things that are going to take place. There are medicine prescriptions drop off, free recycling. You can bring anything that is good, can be used, but must be usable and in good condition, and leave it, and it will be given away. No money exchanges hands on this day. We'll also be giving away free smoke detectors. There'll be a farmer's market, free bicycle helmets and lights, and music and DJ, and so come out. And the hours, again, it's October 12th, and the hours are from 11 to 3.
First, let me say I'm not up here crying. It's my allergy, and if you see me keep wiping the tears on my face, I'm not crying. So that's the first thing. I just want to thank everyone that came out to coffee with a council person. Ms. Chapman, I thought we did a good job. I thought the people was really inclined to what we were saying, and a lot of questions and answers was taken care of. So I thank all those people that came out, and I ask them will they continue, the city continue to join us when we have this coffee and councilwoman or man. Thank you.
Okay, so Saturday is Porch Fest. It starts at noon. Wonderful event. I'd like to thank Jordan and his entire committee. It's on all over the place. You can go next door and everything, get where I think it's 23 different locations, and the bands start around 12:45 and they go to like 6 o'clock in the evening, and it has the location, what band, every place. And you can walk, ride, drive, find the ones you like. But a great event, and last year there was an enormous turnout, and this year we expect it to be bigger than better. Before that, we have a special ceremony at City Hall. It starts at 11. It won't be, it'll be about an hour, but if you have to leave early, that's no problem. And it's a very special event. and it's being sponsored by the Rolling Thunder National in the city of Asbury Park. And what they do, they go around and they donate special chairs for POWs missing in action. And I'll just read this. This memorial is an empty chair symbolizing the absence of the soldier who was given the ultimate sacrifice. Held prisoner of war listed as missing in action whose remains have not been returned. Since World War II, more than 82,000 service members are unaccounted for. This memorial honors Staff Sergeant Walter A., I'm going to be wrong in the pronunciation, Chacon, who was from Freehold, and Springsteen wrote the song The Wall about him.
Yes.
And the other person is Lance Corporal Theodis Collins, an Asbury Park resident, Asbury Park High School graduate. Jesse knows him. Football player. And all these people have made the ultimate sacrifice, and they've never came home. So we will never forget their service and their sacrifice. And this is when the people got in touch with us about 6 months ago. So this has been going on for 6 months, arranging it and everything. And for them to select Asbury Park is very, very special. And for them to select, especially an Asbury Park resident that never came home. And if you go online, you can probably read his bio and everything. If you read his bio, you're going to cry. It's just a very sad story, but it's going to be a great day in Asbury Park celebrating two people that did give the ultimate sacrifice for this country and never made it home. So again, we invite everybody. It's open to the public, and it's going to be, we're going to do the ceremony downstairs, but we'll probably put the chair upstairs with, the ropes around it so nobody can ever sit in it. But again, special event. Thank you. Michael, that's all I have.
We're on to matters from the city manager.
None at this time.
We have the NJ.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. My name is Ezio Altamura from the GEM Ottersted Insurance Agency. We're here to do our annual insurance review. We will be brief. If there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. My partner, Joe Gentili, is handing out packets for you. I will briefly go through them. With me tonight is John Serapelia, who's the administrator from Polaris of the NGIF Joint Insurance Fund, and everyone knows Eric Neiman, the attorney, fund attorney for the New Jersey Intergovernmental Insurance Fund. So if you open your packet, and by the way, if you notice our colorful packet, our agency is celebrating its 100th anniversary in business.
Congratulations.
So we're growing. We have 150 employees and 7 offices throughout the state of New Jersey.
You don't look that old.
I know, I look good for 100 years old, right? Thank you, Mayor. If you open the packet and you turn to the right side and you pull that section out, and again, I'm going to go through it briefly, but again, stop me if I'm going too quickly or you have any questions. The first page is basically just an introduction of our agency. Again, I want to thank the mayor and council for your reappointment in the year 2019 as the city's risk manager. The first and second paragraph are just basically who we are and what we do. We're basically the city's representative for the NGIF. You're members of the New Jersey Intergovernmental Insurance Fund, and we represent you in safety and insurance matters. If you turn to page 2, this is just a short list of some of the public entity clients that we insure throughout our agency. We insure over 30 public entities throughout the state of New Jersey. If you go to pages 3 and 4, these are the resumes, starting with myself, my partner Joe, and on page 4, my partner Matt. We handle and work on and represent as public entities, basically a team approach. So if you need me and I'm not in my office, you have my cell. I speak with Michael and Chief Ketty. So I'm always in communications with your departments, with Leisha from Recreation. But this is our backgrounds, our resumes, and some of what we do and how long have we been handling public entity business. If you go to page 5, this is basically the indemnity and trust agreement for the coming up years. Tonight's resolution is on to reappoint as members of the NGIF for the years 2020 to 2022. Because of your excellent claims experience and the decline overall in frequency and severity of claims, I was able to negotiate, and with the approval of the governing body and your city manager, these are some of the deductibles. Since I've been appointed as your risk manager in 2016, I was able to negotiate down, and we continue to trend down with your deductibles and your out-of-pocket payments. So this is a very positive trend for the city of Asbury Park. And that's just a synopsis of that. And this wouldn't be possible without Eric Nemeth, the fund attorney's help, and Maria Makos, who's not here tonight, but John Serapilia is from Polaris Galaxy, who are the administrators of the NGIF. Page 6 just continues, and I'd like to point out, if you look at letters C and D, under employment practices and public officials liability and law enforcement liability, again, due to your excellent claims experience and the costs involved with the claims that we've experienced, because of the decline, I was able to negotiate new deductibles under those lines of coverages as well, which was not possible 3 years ago. So again, the trend is very favorable for the city of Asbury Park. Page 7 begins the plan of risk management, which is filed with the Department of Banking and Insurance. This is the 2019 plan of risk management. Page 8 is just basically an introduction and a history of the NGIF. It's been in existence since February of 1991. It started with 14 members, and I believe it has, John, 20 members now? 22 members now. Thank you, Eric. The city of Asbury Park became a member of the New Jersey Intergovernmental Insurance Fund on February 15, 2011. Pages 9 to 11 are just basically their operational philosophy and procedures. It talks about how their assessments are derived, my role as your risk manager, how claims are handled, fund commissioners and trustees. It's all public information, and the meetings are held monthly, and they're public meetings because they're run by the members of the NGIF. If you go to page 12, the claims and loss control is handled by PMA. Today we had our third quarter safety meeting at 3 p.m. and there's packets up there for the governing body that I believe I gave to, I think it was Sonia, to distribute at some point, so you have them. So we run quarterly safety meetings with your city manager, with Michael. Again, PMA and Eric Nemeth Polaris basically work in conjunction with me, and I work with them as the city's risk manager for litigation management, legal fees, etc. Page 13 is just a synopsis, and then it gets into great detail, but page 13 highlights the coverages that are provided by the NGIF. In the middle of page 13, automobile liability, property, buildings and contents, general liability for slip and falls, crime, environmental impairment, statutory coverage for your statutory positions, worker compensation, police, professional, public officials, and cyber liability are all covered. Pages 14 to 22 are really the meat and potatoes of the coverages. I'm not going to go through all the details, but if you review that and you have any questions, my business card is inside the packet. Please feel free to call me. So if you go to page 23, these are some of the additional coverages that we write through our office, which are outside of the NGIF. So we have an accident policy for your recreation program for the city of Asbury Park, covering 18 and under. You can see the programs that we cover there, the karate, the boxing, the soccer. Once a year, I work with Leisha. We make sure your exposures are updated, and we get your renewals in on time. It's a $100,000 excess policy, so if a child gets injured, they go through their own insurance first. If they have no medical insurance, this policy becomes primary and pays their medical bills. We also have an underground storage tank policy, which is site-specific. We have 2 tanks at the Public Works facility and 1 at your wastewater facility. Any removal or replacement is required prior notification, and they do have an emergency response hotline in that policy, and I list it right there. So if there's ever an emergency, that number should be called if there's ever an emergency spill. We also have a group dental plan. We brought in Delta Dental, I think it was last year, and replaced coverage, got you a better premium and more options for your employees. The last page on 24 is going to refer to the left side of the packet. So if you just look on your left side, I'd like to give the members of the governing body a little synopsis of a 3-year trend with claims. So it's pretty self-explanatory. The first page represents worker compensation. There's a bar graph there. There's by policy year, the number of claims, the amount of claims, the dollars paid, the total incurred, monies that have been reserved in anticipation of paying those claims. So you can get a sense of the trends of where claims come from. Public liability and municipalities, approximately 50% of the claims come out of the worker compensation line. This is a hazardous business. You have police, you have fire, you have public works, confined space entry, you have law enforcement. It's a dangerous business. It's 24/7, 7 days a week. So no surprise that we have work-related injuries, and that's very typical throughout the state of New Jersey, throughout the joint insurance funds. The second sheet is liability. So that's your typical slip and falls. If you get sued or there's litigation brought against the city of Asbury Park, that's your liability coverage there. And again, you can see the bar graph that kind of gives you a little indication of trends. The next one is commercial auto. So that would be your automobile exposures. And again, you can see the trends there. The total incurred is very low for the city of Asbury Park, considering the amount of vehicles that are on the roads. And the last one is property. So essentially, there is really no property. It's an excellent property loss experience. We really don't have too many property claims. The second item in the left side of the packet is just something I give out at our safety meetings, usually the first quarter of every year. And that's just the recommended insurance coverages when you have outside vendors. I worked with Leisha recently when you had a concert in the park by the Jonas Brothers back a few weeks ago. We make sure that outside vendors have the proper insurance. They sign a hold harmless indemnification agreement, and the city of Asbury Park is protected. I also work with Eric Nemeth from the NGIF and Fred as well to make sure that you're protected on that and from an indemnification standpoint. Going back to the right side of the packet again, some of the items, some of the things that we've done this year, which has helped, and in the past 3 years, is because of your excellent safety and representation at their monthly meetings. Someone from our office is always there, as well as someone from the city of Asbury Park attends. They move the meetings around because of the size of the group and where the members are located. I do want to congratulate the city of Asbury Park for 2018, as in 2017. You're once again awarded a safety plaque. And tonight I'm going to bring John up in a moment to present to the mayor and the council a plaque and a check for $1,000 for your excellent safety record. I do want to thank Michael. All your department heads do a great job. We're honored to be your risk managers, and we supported your Black History Month. We came to that event, which was an excellent event, your National Night Out. We're here to support you. That's our way of saying thank you for us to financially give back to your community for the great things you do for your community. So at this time, I'd like to bring John up. And
No, not yet. I know you won't toot your own horn, but I want you to go back to page 5, please. Just so the public's going to hear this and say, I don't have a clue what he said. So, number one, what you've saved us as far as insurance is astronomical. We've thanked you for that in the past. But this, as far as like renegotiating with the JIF, which we appreciate and everything, I think you should read the numbers, just because these numbers tell the true story of how Asbury Park is getting their act together and have gotten their act together. Else, a lot of towns are having increases. We're having deductions, which is not seldom heard. But I think you deserve credit. I think the city deserves credit. So I have no problem with you going through like each one. Workers' compensation fund, say January 2019, it was 55, and then in 2020 it's going to be 40.
Sure.
So please, because they're great
I will
numbers.
elaborate real quickly, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for that compliment. And again, it couldn't be done without the help of Michael and the fund attorney, Eric Nemeth, Maria Makos, John Sarapilia. It's really a team effort, the governing body. So for workers' compensation, when we were appointed by this governing body January 1 of 16, your deductible for each and every worker comp claim was $90,000. We are now at $55,000 for the fund year 2019, and I was able to negotiate because of the positive trends of frequency and severity of claims. For 2020, January 1, it'll go to $50,000. For 2021, it'll go to $45,000. And for 2022, it'll go to $40,000. And no longer will those deductibles be tied into lost time frequency claims where it was. We had to establish and prove that the city could actually get control of their claims, which they have. And we've hit every benchmark for the past 3 years. So now I was able to negotiate without any kind of tie-in reduced deductible starting next year. So the trend continues down. So from 90,000, we'll be down to 40,000 by 2022. In the multi-line funds, the general liability, you had a $52,500 deductible this year. Next year, you'll have a $50,000 deductible. January 2021, you'll have $45,000. In January 2022, you'll go to $40,000 deductible. If you turn the page under auto liability, the current deductible is $45,000. In January of 2020, you'll go to $40,000. January 2021, it'll stay at $40,000, and then January 2022, it'll go to $35,000. Sometimes the reductions are not as great as you might think because in insurance and risk management, there's a great tail and possibility of exposure, like a liability claim. Workers' comp is statutory, so we can contain costs. We have managed care in the state of New Jersey. We kind of can know when someone injures a back, kind of what the cost is going to be. Unlike an auto liability claim, you could go from a $5,000 auto accident to a $1,500,000 claim. So because it's more unpredictable, the deductibles sometimes can't come down as much. But I weighed the deductibles against the assessment and premiums versus what we pay, what the city pays, and what the other members pay, the large members of the NGIF. And when I sat with John and Eric, we were able to work out the reduction. So again, it's a testament to the governing body for these reductions. Employment practices and public officials liability has been a $50,000 deductible, but because again of the low severity of claims, I was able to negotiate for the next 3 years starting 1/1/20, $40,000. And last one was law enforcement liability. Again, because of the reduction in the severity of claims, the deductible is $75,000 per claim. Starting January 1, it's going to $70,000. Starting January 1 of 2021, it's going to $65,000. And starting January of 2022, it's going to $60,000. And again, it's because of the severity. When I analyzed the claims and I looked at what you pay versus what's being paid for claims, the value of the fund, the limits of coverage, and the value of Eric Nemeth as the fund attorney working with Fred, all these things made sense, and they were in agreement when we worked those numbers down.
Thank you. And I know you don't like doing that, tooting your own horn, but it needed to be said, so thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
No,
Any questions?
here, where's my check?
Bring them up right now.
Sorry.
The check is important. The plaque is nice too.
So, Mayor, members of the council, again, it's our pleasure to have Asbury Park as a member of the NJIF going almost on 10 years. Again, the great teamwork that we have with Michael Capobianco as all of our team at Polaris enabled the city to achieve some safety status that we have benchmarks. Not every member gets there, and Asbury now for the second year in a row achieves the plaque, gets the monetary award. Congratulations to the city. And the plaque reads as follows. NJIF, it's called the 2018 Safety Incentive Program Award. It says the NGIF presents the Safety Award to the City of Asbury Park in recognition of the efforts by the city to create and maintain a safe environment for its employees, volunteers, residents, and visitors. Congratulations, Mayor.
Right here.
Congratulations, congratulations. Keep up the good work, congratulations, congratulations. Do I have any other questions from the governing body?
No, just thank yous.
Thank you. We appreciate working for the city. It's a great city, the people are great. We spent some money and added money to your commerce. We had dinner here after the safety meeting today. So we're making sure that the taxes get paid and people are happy. So, and I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize Chief Kenny. Chief Kenny is very instrumental in safety in the city of Asbury Park. So thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, members of the council.
Good job.
Yep. Next.
We're on to matters from the city attorney.
Nothing at this time.
And
The
8-minute break.
regular meeting will begin at 7 p.m. Ready? Regular meeting called to order. Councilmember Chapman.
Here?
Councilmember Clayton. Here. Councilmember Kendall.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Quinn. She's absent. Mayor Moore.
Here.
We're on to silent prayer, a moment of reflection. Please stand. We will now salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag, to the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As to comply with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in the following manner. The annual notice was forwarded to the Asbury Park Press, the Coaster, and the Star Ledger on January 2nd, 2019, and posted on the bulletin board on the same date. All notices are on file with the city clerk. We are now on to the public participation. Do I have a motion to open the meeting to the public?
Move it.
Second.
Councilman, all in favor?
Aye.
Please come to the mic, state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes.
Ernest McNally, 400 Deal Lake Drive, apartment 5B, Asbury Park, New Jersey. I've lived here as a homeowner for 12 years on Deal Lake Drive. I'd like to start out by saying last year, I think it was, when the city organized a protest against a legal preacher that came here and did a nice thing for the city, and others that I'm looking at staged a protest, and I think they owe the city $30,000, and I'd like to ask the city manager when you're going to pay that. The next thing is, I understand we're entertaining tonight. It's very hard to keep up with how this stuff works, but I'm getting it. I'm starting to see. So now you're talking about considering paying a person who was, well, they say forced to resign from Homedale, right? And so now where I think that's the same company and person who lives in Asbury, who was forced out by a state investigation by Sean Keane and resigned before the findings, and is now in some more issue about it. But now I think that's the person in your resolution, Donna Vieira. Am I correct? Now, a few meetings ago, I said, I really hope that the city manager is not going to hire her. Now, I don't know the connection. I think the connection is Homedale, where the city manager used to live. Vieira lives in Asbury. I'm looking at some board members. A lot of you were on the budget committee with her. I think Ms. Chapman was. I think, I don't know, there's more. And then all of a sudden, you know, she's gone. She's up in Homedale causing problems. And now she's back here getting a $103,000 a year contract without a name. We don't know who it is, but that's who it is, right? And an Asbury resident. I mean, the conflicts. And then who signs it? The city attorney. You know what? This city attorney law firm over the last 30 years, and I've been here in Long Branch and Asbury, Ansel Aaron has done, in my opinion, more damage to these two cities than anybody can imagine. Why are they still sitting here? Why is that? And why always such a close relationship with the city manager or the mayor? Thankfully, it ended in Long Branch. They're gone. Ansel Aaron is out, right? We need that here. Otherwise, there's no road back. We can't keep having these quiet deals in the back room with the city manager and the attorney and the realtors and developers go in the back and they chit-chat. It can't happen anymore. I mean, look at now. Now the meandering boardwalk is back. How many people here know that it's back now? You know, all these backroom deals. I went to a planning board meeting, and who's there? The meandering boardwalk people. Do you think the waterfront people know that? Of course they don't know it. That's how it gets done here, quietly. And on that budget committee with Vieira and Ms. Chapman, I think was Barbara, whatever her name is, the head of the planning board. And then, of course, Ms. Quinn's friend, the lady that lives next door, gets on the planning board, Jennifer Souter. I mean, is there anybody other than related people that can work here? I mean, I'm serious. To be a cop or a fireman or a city official here, you have to be related, or it's out. And that keeps my opinion, the crime, corruption, and nepotism going. And this city is in hock. You don't want to go right there?
You're going to Long Branch before you leave. What resolution are you talking about?
There's one tonight about...
I believe that was 2 weeks ago, so that's the end of that conversation.
What?
I believe that was 2 weeks ago.
No, it's not tonight.
It is? Okay. I can't find
What were
it.
you talking about, the boardwalk or the...
No, it's just, okay.
Want me to go to Long Branch? Let's not go.
The meandering boardwalk, you're totally wrong. I've missed...
Came up at the planning board meeting.
I wasn't there. The boardwalk is being built the way we told everybody was, as the charrettes. The only place it meanders is down when at the end of the boardwalk going to the fisherman's lot.
Well, why was the attorneys for iStar and partners here and none of the waterfront people? You know what? This is all.
Okay, Ernest, go to Long Branch.
Well, you asked me, so I answered.
Okay, but you're wrong. And
You say so. I'll
and,
debate on it.
and you complain about the boards. I've never seen you apply to any.
I
So
don't want to be on the board. I'm not looking
Okay.
to corrupt. Hello.
have fun in Long Branch.
You too.
Thank you, Ernest.
My name is William Thorpe. I live at 711 Grand Avenue, and I come here to help. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, 711 what avenue? Grant. Okay.
I come here to ask for your help with a small problem. There's a neighbor who has a bird feeder, okay? And the bird feeder, there's no violations on it. There's no city code violations, there's no ordinance violation, and there's no violation for the health department as far as Monmouth County is concerned, okay? But what's happening now, it causes a nuisance. You have bird droppings all over my car once a week, okay? The sidewalk also has the bird droppings, and also birds are trying to come onto my porch, okay? Now, this is interfering with my lifestyle, you know, because the birds are dropping, so forth and so on. And the quality of life. We tried to do everything to talk to the neighbor to say, could you either move the bird feeder, okay, or just take the bird feeder down. But the neighbor doesn't want to cooperate or respond in any type of way. Everything is negative. So I figured I'd come to the board, and this gentleman also is having the same problem as my neighbor next door, to see what can be done. Since there are no code violations, since there's no health violations, since there's no ordinance violations, that something has to be done because it's a nuisance, and it's really a pain. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'm going to punt it to the city manager in a second, but there's only one thing I would wish you would do. Something like this happens, and say it's been happening all summer or whatever, or for months or anything, weeks, don't wait for a council meeting. You can get in touch with us. You can call my house, you can email me, and we'll get back to you the next day. So I don't want the public to feel like I got to wait 2 weeks to come to a council meeting so we can try to resolve this. Now, how we're going to resolve this, I don't have a clue. That's why I'm going to punt it to the city manager.
Okay, then he will respond in reference to it. Okay.
Right now, he's going to talk right now as far as like what we think we can do, and if not, he'll get back to you tomorrow. And again, before you leave, I'll give you my business card, and you can like email me and say, hey, John, this is still going on. What can you do? So you don't have to wait 2 weeks for a council meeting.
Okay, then.
Okay.
Can I get your number and I'll give you a call tomorrow? I just want to look into it.
201
Okay.
303
Okay.
4020.
Thank you.
Okay.
And if
Thank
you
you.
want, I'll give you this.
Okay, I can pick it up later.
Okay.
Hello, Mayor.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
I'm in relation to his problem, but a little more directly because I want to fill you in on who the property
Could you
is.
name and address?
Could you please state your name and address?
Yes, sure, certainly. Dale Fior, 705 Grand Avenue. I live in the old beauty salon that has been here for many years.
Eddie DeSimone owned it 40 years ago.
I have put a lot of money into that building and rehabilitated it. I live next to the alphabet school. Part of the problem is it's a school. And she has this little placard out there that she belongs to the National Wildlife Federation and that she's a school habitat. Okay, so she is saying that she has the right to do this because she has this thing from the school, from school habitat. And I've called the National Wildlife Federation, and they say that she has to comply by city code. When I've gone to code and violations, they say they have no code. So now she believes she has the right to put out, and the bird feeder is commercial size. It's not a little bird feeder. It's this big and it's this round. And on her property, she has no habitat at all. So she's calling herself a habitat, but the 50 by 100 lot has nothing but AstroTurf and plastic furniture. My lot is rich with vegetation, and so I'm the habitat. She says she's a habitat, but in truth, I'm the habitat. And all summer long, I have bird droppings. I can't walk barefoot on my own property. These birds are nesting, and I'm not talking about 10 birds, 15 birds. I'm talking about a flock of birds that have come to this property since the school has put out this bird feeder. And these birds now have made my property their habitat. and have been absolutely obstinate about this. I have tried to be a neighbor about this. I have gone to the Board of Education. I have gone to the city. The code inspector was absolutely derisive to me. I'm frustrated, and if you want to know why I came to the council meeting, I'm wondering why I cannot have the quiet enjoyment on my property that I deserve, and that my tax dollars are as good as hers. So, that's right, she's tax exempt, probably. And I'm bearing the brunt of this, so I'd like something done about it.
Now, I appreciate you giving us some more background, because I think that will make it easier for the city manager to look into, because we didn't know the address and everything. Now we know the address
Right.
and who it is and everything. So he will look into it and get back to you.
I appreciate any help you can give us, because I've tried to avoid, I've tried to do this civilly, but it's not working.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Hi, Peter Morano, 8th Avenue. I have a similar problem, but it's with cars. My next door neighbor had 5 cars parked on the street, all with the QQ license plate, whatever that is, for the whole weekend. When parking was, I don't know how many people called me. I could have made a lot of money, but I didn't want to do it. She's one of them, right? I mean, like, even residents can't park. How come here? Nobody will do anything about the 5 cars. Now, maybe you have to review the police code. I mean, if he has QQ license plates, I called Ocean Township. They said it's not supposed to be on the street. And if it is on the street, it's supposed to be rotated. It's not supposed to be there for 2 or 3 weeks. They're there for 3 weeks at a time. 5 cars, all with QQ on them. I'm just discovering, and you can't call a motor vehicle because, you know, it's too long of a wait on the phone. The other thing that's one of the things I would like to see corrected, if possible. I hope I'm not living next to a used car lot. I mean, which that's what it looks like to me, because he has 4 sale signs on them. The other thing is, in the bill resolution, I don't know if it's this year's or last year's bill, for the fashion show. I called Lisa, she told me it was canceled. But I don't know if this is for this year or last year. Which is it?
Which?
That's either a yes or a no answer. I don't want to hear no explanation on
Okay,
that.
we'll wait till you're done and then we'll answer.
And the third thing is, I saw where the prosecutor got paid off the bill resolution. I thought he would be on the payroll. I thought that was very unusual that you would have the prosecutor in the bill resolution with the bills. And that's it.
Okay.
The 5 cards.
Which, there's several bill resolutions. Give me which one you're talking about.
Today's.
No,
This week's.
But I mean, there's 200 of them there. What one are you?
Huh?
What does it say, Louise? Just,
Go ahead. Wait, come on.
just what's the vendor? What's the vendor? Who's the vendor?
Administration General Plan.
No, who's the check being made out to?
Well,
There's a few.
Master Printing, At the Table LLC,
At the Table LLC has been pulled. Go ahead.
Oriental Trading Company, for dining wear for fashion show, Interfaith Neighbor,
Interfaith has been pulled.
and Grandmaster Printing for tickets.
Right, okay. The 2 that I mentioned have been pulled. They've been pulled. The fashion show has been postponed into 2020, so we cannot pay those bills ahead of time. So they've been pulled from tonight's total, and when Melody reads the bills and claims, whatever the total is, say 577, she'll give you the real number. Those 2 bills have been pulled. And then Rita, as far
What
as,
about the tickets?
do what?
You're selling tickets?
But we can use them again. If there's something like they've already been printed, we can use them. There's no date on it. So, and same with the plates and forks and stuff, we can use them for Black History Month or the fashion show. So they've already been, but anything, the restaurants have been pulled. As far as QQ, in case anybody doesn't know, that means it's an antique car, it's 25 years or older. Michael, you're going to have to look into that, especially if they do have for sale signs on them. I mean, I don't know what the law says, but I don't blame you for complaining, Rita, if there's 5 of them in front of your house. And I think that was all your questions.
This is what I think they have to review the, all these laws that they have because of parking.
I think, okay,
I just want to say one thing. When I called up about the for sale sign on one of the vehicles, they said, is he properly parked? I said, yes. Well, then he could stay there. I mean, like, I live in a residential neighborhood, I hope.
let us look into that and we'll get back to you.
Okay. And is there a fashion show or isn't there?
It's been postponed to 2020.
Okay.
So we can spend more time with Trunk or Treat, which is a great event, and we hope you attend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'm all right.
All right. How are you? Carrie Butch, 500 Deer Lake Drive. I am thrilled that you guys are going to have another boards and commissions workshop on October 16th. And I want to encourage everybody to go, right? It's 7 to 9. Or do I have the time wrong? October 16th at the Senior Center.
Hold on.
If you need help organizing or
7 to 9.
rallying some people or getting the word out, we'd be happy to help you.
Great.
In addition, I want to ask about, I noticed in the coaster that last week they talked about the Human Relations Committee is doing a survey. I wasn't aware that we had a Human Relations Committee. So we currently have one that was discussed, I guess, in relation to creating a civilian complaint review board. Do we actually have a Human Relations Commission? When is it meeting? That kind of thing. And then in addition, I want to ask about the survey that the Green Team put out there to assess diversity on boards and committees in town. Because, I had worked with a group of people, including Eileen, to do an assessment, and there were 7 out of 16 committees that had no African Americans, and we talked a little bit about the leadership of women and the leadership of minority folks, and leadership wasn't where it needed to be in relation to our demographic. And then last but not least, if you guys could make a comment about the census and how that's playing out and how that's happening and how we're learning about it in our community and that kind of thing. So I asked you a lot and I apologize, but.
Okay, we do not have an HRC at this time. The survey is to go, and I believe one's being sent to every resident in the city to see what they want in it. We want to do it right. A lot of towns have done it and it hasn't been done right. So has it been a little bit longer than we want? Yes, but we want to do it right. As far as the committees, help us, Carrie, help us. I mean, we have committees that can hardly get a quorum because we're keeping open seats because we want to appoint minorities. We've been to the churches. I've gone to the Haitian church. We've gone to the African American churches. So all the churches asked for minorities to apply. Nobody's applying. And I mean, as far as somebody was complaining about somebody who was appointed to the board, they had to be appointed or else there wouldn't be a quorum. So, but there are still empty seats. So if you can help us find people to apply, we'll appoint them. But, I don't know what, we've been doing this since January and we can't get people to apply. So anything you can do to help us get people to apply. And I'll let Michael handle the census because he's the one in charge of it. I think he made an announcement at the last meeting, what's going on.
And Michael, if you can also handle the Green Team survey.
Yes.
So the last Green Team meeting, which was about a week or 2 ago, I told them the survey was done. It's 95% written. The Green Team will get the internal draft confidential copy of it for their review and hopefully release probably sometime early November. In census, I gave a presentation at the last meeting on the complete census count.
Okay, you did a presentation at the last meeting. Okay. Do we have a census committee?
We're just going to be seeking volunteers to serve on it.
We need volunteers to serve on the census committee?
Yes.
Okay. And I guess my question about the survey is, I guess I would love it if there's any way possible during the boards and commissions session that you did so wonderfully last year, if you just do an added piece to that, which is to allow people from in the audience to ask questions. I think that might be kind of good for everybody. And then in addition, I guess, what did I want to say? I don't know what I want to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So Kerry, we wanted to have a Q&A session at the Green Team, last time, but people spoke longer than they should have, and the meeting went way too long. So we're hopefully going to monitor that a little bit better this year to allow for time for Q&A.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Louise Murray. Good evening, everybody. Grand Avenue. We had a big event the last weekend, and I need to say, I got free hearing of the bands. It was wonderful. It was a lot better than my 4th of July weekend. I'll tell you, I heard it was done very professionally. I didn't budge from my house, and I have to compliment, I guess Michael from the Parking Authority might have had his hands full because they were parked all over, yellow zone and this zone, but I figured give them a ticket. What the heck, they paid enough to get in. And I have to compliment the police department. I mean, they really had to work their tails off for this one. And I heard there were no things that really we had to be worried about. And I have to say, I'm waiting for the next one. I mean, it's a lot better than the one that we had when I remember in the past. It was crazy. And they got out of town easy, I'm told. And congratulations. Whoever, who was behind it, congratulations.
Thank you, Louise.
Thank you.
Motion closed?
Move it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No more.
Kathleen Muma, 1501 Ocean Avenue. I can echo Louise's comments. I wanted to commend all involved with See Here Now. The organizers, C3, presents the city government and all employees, boards and committees that provided guidance, sponsors, and all of the talent, artists and surfers, staff, volunteers, and festival goers. The vibe was safe, positive, all ages, and perfect weather. So hats off to the city, and special thanks to Surfrider Foundation, both the international organization and the Jersey Shore chapter, Mike and Diana especially, for organizing a successful rock and recycle program and working together with the organizers to reduce the festival's waste footprint. And speaking of Surfrider, there is a fall beach cleanup on Friday from 5 to 7. Meet at the 6th Avenue Beach, and there'll be food and drinks at Langosta after, food and drink specials.
This Friday?
This Friday,
Okay.
5 to 7. And I just have one question for Michael. I wondered where the red construction trailer got moved to.
I don't know. Ours, the city-owned one?
Yeah.
I would guess Fisherman's Lot. Honestly, I don't know.
Oh, I think iStar owns the trailer and the city owns the contents inside.
Yes, it's the construction trailer that holds the
lights.
lights. I don't know where it was moved to, either See Here Now or iStar moved it. But I would assume it's going to show up again because it's the lights.
Okay. I'm pretty sure it's at that lot next to 200 Deer Lake Drive. But
Okay.
I just wanted clarity because we asked if it could get moved back in June when Green Acres said that that lot can't be used as a construction staging site.
It can be used for a construction staging site for municipal purposes, not for private sector purposes. And as the boardwalk is a public sector use, it can be used there.
But we'll have no problem moving it. We'll move it as soon as we can.
She's talking about moving it from the
No, but is it moved back to the beachfront? If we have to get it off that site, I have no problem getting it off that site, yeah.
Motion closed?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes. Let me just say something quick, and Louise and Kathleen, I thank both of you because we're all kind of like remiss, like, yeah, the biggest thing for ages happened and none of us mentioned it during like council things, and I echo what both of you said. It was a great weekend. Fire department, police department, beach bathing, OEM, DPW, administration, all the promoters, local and C3. Yeah, Alicia running special events and pulling this off. The employees. Most importantly, you want to know something? The citizens. Because stuff like that can't happen. Pam, did you work the bike thing again? No, not this year? Okay, but I mean, all the volunteers there with bicycles and everything. Mike Manzel trying to get people to use alternate transportation, which we're going to try again next year and ask New Jersey Transit to put on more trains. And I even put on next door, hey guys, call your representatives and ask them why we can't get more trains, but Belmar can for St. Patrick's Day. So it was a wonderful event. I feel terrible we didn't mention it, but I'm glad you two did, and let's hope next year is bigger and better. And you're right with surf riders and all the volunteers, the kids going around collecting cans to get a t-shirt. Just great, and with that I'll end it, but thank you for bringing it up. Thank you, Louise.
We're on to item F, minutes. I have the minutes of the September 11th executive session, the September 11th work session, the September 11th regular meeting. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
We're on to item G, consent agenda resolutions. We have 2019-311, a resolution approving special events application. 2019-312, approving membership into the New Jersey Intergovernmental Insurance Fund. 2019-313, a resolution of the City of Asbury Park, the County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey, providing for the insertion of special items of revenue in the 2019 budget of the City of Asbury Park pursuant to NJSA 48:4-87, Chapter 159, Drunk Driving Enforcement. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second. Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
On to individual resolutions. We are on to Resolution 2019-314. It's a resolution approving the payment of bills with the removal of 19-02885 and 19-0264, bringing the new total to $565,334.45. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
No.
And two, Resolution 2019-315, amending the contract with F&B Associates for LSRP services at the DPW garage via change order 1. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2019-316, awarding a contract to Millennium Communication Group for police department cameras. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2019-317, a resolution amending a contract with Monmouth County for senior services. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2019-318, a resolution of the City of Asbury Park amending the infrastructure component report for the waterfront redevelopment area. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second?
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2019-319, a resolution of the City of Asbury Park adopting a second amendment to the amended and reinstated redeveloper and land disposition agreement by and between the City of Asbury Park and Asbury Partners LLC. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2019-300 is a resolution of the mayor and the city of the mayor and the council of the City of Asbury Park acting as the redevelopment entity, approving and authorizing an agreement with 545 Lake Urban Renewal LLC regarding the redevelopment of certain properties within the Central Business District redevelopment area. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
We are on to ordinances. We are on to, there are no ordinances being introduced tonight. We're on to second readings, public hearings. We're on to ordinance 2019-38, an ordinance of the City of Asbury Park authorizing the adoption of an amendment to the waterfront redevelopment plan. Do I have a motion to open 2019-38?
Before we open this ordinance up for a public hearing, I would like to just recognize that at the planning board's meeting this week, the planning board found the amendments that are before you to be consistent with the city's master plan, but the planning board did make a recommendation for one additional incorporation into the amendments. And I believe Councilwoman Clayton, who serves on the planning board, will review the planning board's recommendation.
Well, there's only one change to the ordinance, and that changes the height at the location where currently the Empress parking lot is, and it's changed from 2 floors to 6 to make it consistent with the rest of the block, and that is the only change. So we are asking to amend, on behalf of the planning board, I'm asking to amend the ordinance.
So what council would need to do, if the council agrees with the recommendation made by the planning board, you would need to move and second the amendment so that it would be worked into the overall amendments that are being opened up to a public hearing.
So should we do that now?
Yes, I would
Okay.
recommend that you do that now, before you open the public hearing on the ordinance.
Move to amend?
Second.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Now the city can open up for a public hearing on the ordinance as amended.
Okay,
Move it?
Second.
okay, so it's going to be for 2019-38, an ordinance of the City of Asbury Park authorizing the adoption of an amendment to the waterfront redevelopment plan as amended. Do I have a motion?
Yep, we did it.
Okay, we did. Please come to the mic, state your name.
Good evening, Pam Lamberton, Sunset Avenue. I sleep with this stuff under my pillow, I swear. I have the original 2002, my first copy of the waterfront redevelopment plan with me tonight. And I have a copy of the ordinance 2019-38 that was provided in the packet. So the packet has the packet page numbers on it. So I just have a few questions. On packet page 73, in the middle, it says, additional amendments to the plan as set forth in Exhibit A. I am assuming that...
Hold on 1 second, Pam, because
We don't have a 73.
my packet goes up to page 64, so we got a problem. So let's us figure that out. What do we got, guys?
Also page 73.
Mine goes up to 64.
Mine goes up to 60.
65, I'm sorry.
69, mine goes up to 69.
Well,
On the other,
can you answer her questions? Do you have the page
I've
73?
got the page in front of me.
Okay.
we don't have
Yeah,
that.
Ms. Lamberton was just referencing an exhibit that's referenced on this
I don't know where
packet page
74
73.
is. Page 74 or 73.
The exhibit to which you're referring, Pam, I believe, is the amendments that were put together by the city's planner, which
I don't know what she's
were attached to the ordinance.
I am assuming that starts on page 77, packet page 77, but there, it's not labeled Exhibit A, so I just want to make sure that that's...
I believe it actually starts at page 75.
I don't have that either.
There's nothing labeled Exhibit A. 75 is now therefore be ordained, and 76 is the city clerk's signature.
I have the city clerk's signature.
Okay.
Where did you get yours, Pam?
I printed it off the internet.
Okay. This meeting or the last meeting?
This meeting.
Okay. Houston, we have a problem.
Can I,
Well, what's the question?
Pam, can I see what she has? Can I see?
My question is the format of the ordinance in the packet, actually, a lot of them, but so it says, amendments to the plan as set forth in Exhibit A. Nothing is labeled Exhibit. Do you have something labeled Exhibit A? In your
What I have, it's not marked, correct, it's not marked Exhibit A, but it says attachment, waterfront amendment, September 2019.
I just want to make sure that what you're voting on tonight is what the public understands it to
She's
be.
talking about this 71, where it says page 71 there? Where it says page 71 here?
Oh.
Pam, could you bring yours
Yeah.
up?
Oh, okay, we're looking at different numbers.
I think that's what she's looking at.
You have the packet page number on the bottom?
Is it the page 71 there, or page 71 where it says packet at the bottom?
Packet page number?
Let Melanie see it, she's got the, yeah, I don't know what that is.
Fred, can you check with Pam also, maybe we're dealing with the same item, but maybe different pages? So as long as we're dealing with the same item.
Do you have a page labeled Exhibit A?
What does it look like?
My supporting document page,
You're-
which I think is,
This is even,
her page.
even the first page.
So what, for our
I don't
first
know where
page
that,
is
see, hers says
54.
package page 72, mine says packet page 54.
Right, that's what I'm
Yeah.
wondering, if yours is from 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Has it changed?
No, but the pages will change.
The page numbers
The
will
pages will change because the
Because the
packets.
packet is a different size
So that's what I'm
packet.
saying, like, if you give Fred like,
Okay. Do you have something labeled Exhibit A?
What does
That's
that
what I'm
page,
looking for.
what does that page look like?
I don't have exhibits, I don't have a page.
But where does it reference Exhibit A?
I have item number 2.
Right
Number two,
there,
okay.
that page?
Right, that's the first page. Do you have a page before that?
No, that's the last page of the ordinance.
No,
No.
You don't?
it is the
No.
signature page before
Okay,
that.
so it starts with page item 2.
right,
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
okay. Yeah, item 2, item 3, item 4,
Okay, so there is no.
item 5.
Correct.
Item 6, item 7.
What's item 1?
And it goes up to item number 9.
So there is no item 1.
Correct.
I just want to make sure. Item 1 refers to the pool club, and it's not being, it starts with item 2.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to be absolutely clear that this ordinance has nothing to do with the pool club.
Yes.
It's just the boardwalk itself.
Mhm.
No, it's more than just the boardwalk, it's heights for other lots and blocks also.
Right, that's true.
not
But,
the-
but
not
yeah,
the
item
pool
2
club.
starts off with the boardwalk.
Okay, so there's nothing about, should not be anything about the pool included in here.
That's,
Um,
somebody down there, if we're saying something wrong, correct us, but as far as I'm concerned,
Yes.
correct.
My version doesn't show an item number 1,
Okay,
but I know Jennifer is here representing iStar is looking at.
There is an item one, and it concerns the boardwalk, which is why I want to make sure it's.
I'm sorry.
well, so much for seeing
Yeah.
Survivor.
Should we table this?
Yeah.
No, it stops the boardwalk.
Sorry, just to put my appearance on the record so it's picked up on the recording. My name is Jennifer Phillips Smith. I'm an attorney for Asbury Partners. Just to clarify, there is an item 1. It's been in, I don't know why it's not in the package, but it's been part of what's been circulated. Item 1 is important because item 1 is what amends the plan to allow for the straight boardwalk that the city wants to do. It doesn't have anything to do with the beach club. It's the straight boardwalk. And that was reviewed by the planning board, and it was part of what's been here all along. I'm not sure why it's missing from the package.
Does it have anything to do with the pool club?
No, it's all about the boardwalk, but it's vital that it's part of this, and it is what the planning board reviewed. I don't know why it's missing from the packet, because it is the page that allows for the boardwalk to be built in the straight configuration that the council wants. So I'm mentioning this not necessarily on behalf of Asbury Partners, but I know this is what the council wants. I know that the public wants the straight boardwalk, so this was the vital part of the pages.
Okay, so what do we do now?
Fred, Mike, what do you want us to do? What do you think would be wise?
I'm looking to see if it was in the intro.
Michael,
We're just checking on something.
we had it last night, we had it Monday night.
Yeah, it was part of what the planning board reviewed on Monday, just to be very clear.
Right, but that's Monday night, that's the past, we're here tonight, so we gotta
Right.
figure out tonight.
Right, okay.
If the public has not been provided with that item 1, then anybody who may have wanted to
You raise,
Comment on that.
you raise a valid point. The only thing that I'm gonna throw out there, and somebody's gonna have to answer it. Forget how did this happen, which we'll figure that out tomorrow, but how will this slow down the boardwalk being built? If we have to table this tonight because of a lack of information. Which is not gonna make 5 people happy. I'm counting you instead of her.
Could we introduce the
September
language that
11th.
should be there?
September 11th.
Can we amend it? Can we amend the ordinance?
Amend it with what? We don't have it. Nobody has it.
I've got the language here in front of us, and it clearly relates to the boardwalk to ensure that it's consistent with that which, was approved by the public and which the council intends to.
So Pam raised the issue, the rest of the public might not have seen it. If Fred was to read item 1 and let you read it and you had no problems with it.
You have to use the HDMI.
I'm going to spend an hour to figure out how to turn on the TVs.
Want to try it from here?
It looks like it is.
No.
You're right.
No. Watch your head.
It's
Bend
blinking.
down.
No, this is not.
The red light's blinking. I mean,
You have an old,
Could we turn it on from here?
Show it to Fred and see if it's what he has up on his computer. Because if it's different, it's different. And I don't care what we put up on the TV. If it's different, it's different. Is that it, Pam?
It is with a new private beach club will be developed on the boardwalk between 6 and 7 in Latter.
That does start. That's the existing language. Yes, right. But knowing that that was part of this, of the original ordinance, and I thought it had been removed from the official one that you were going to vote on tonight. So I don't know how you fix this, but
Fred, how do we fix this?
The language that's on the screen was part of what was reviewed by the planning board, and we're just checking to see whether it was part of what was in the introductory package before the council. But there's no change to that sentence at the beginning. It's the same language that existed in the prior redevelopment plan.
Okay, so that didn't go out last Friday with the minutes or anything because it had to go to the planning board first. Correct or no?
Well, the ordinance was introduced by the council on September 11th, and it had to be, under the local redevelopment and housing law, referred to the planning board. The planning board reviewed it the other evening, and that language was part of what was reviewed by the planning board. There was just a mishap with the packets, apparently, with that page not being a part of the packets that were posted in preparation for this evening's council meeting.
Was that part of our packets on September?
as a resident, I do not want to halt the
I know
construction of the boardwalk, but
But things have to be done right. You're absolutely right, yeah. So Fred, we're gonna leave this on you. If need be, what's it take to have a special meeting? 48 hours?
4 days.
4 days?
Well, technically 48 hours, but it has to be 48 hours from when the newspaper can publish.
So it's, because if we get, you have to, it's 4 days, because the papers, the case law is that, as Fred mentioned, you need, the paper's gonna say they need, the case law is they need 2 days to print for 48 hours. So it's technically 4 days.
So today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we could have a special meeting on Monday to correct this mistake so it doesn't slow down the process. Or you're the lawyer, or run the risk of getting sued and getting it stopped altogether, which I'm not willing to run that risk.
What do you think? What? For CAFR?
I have some other questions about it too.
Okay, well, let's figure out this one first. No, I'm not taking any 5-minute breaks. Okay, but somebody's gotta make a decision. It's simple. Either we're gonna pass it tonight, or else we're gonna table it and have a special meeting Monday.
The page was missing from the public package, so.
Page is missing from everybody's package.
Yes. So, out of an abundance of caution, it sounds to me like the boardwalk work can't start immediately tomorrow anyway, because we're still waiting for CAFA approval. So if you want to table this to a special meeting to be held as soon as we can possibly hold it, we believe it could be held on Monday, but Melody will have to double check on that with the newspaper. It would be the beginning of next week, and we could continue the public hearing on that date for anyone who would want to speak regarding this issue or any other issue related to that ordinance.
Does that work for you? Yes.
Sorry, I just wanted to come to the mic so that it got picked up by the audio. Obviously, the master developer wants to start the boardwalk as soon as possible, and the city does too, but I think it's important it be done correctly. I think I personally, as I sit here tonight, I don't know what you introduced. I assumed it was this. It might have been, I don't know. So Fred, if possibly we need a resolution just to clarify that this was in fact what you intended to introduce.
I think that's what was introduced, but this is the second reading. So it was introduced, and that's what Pam has, but the second reading doesn't have it all.
Correct.
Correct.
So
if
we'd
the
like it
most
to-
prudent thing to do is to table it, then we'll table it. We'll have a special meeting if need be. I know we have a pre-construction meeting tomorrow. If everybody says it won't hold up the building of the boardwalk, how much does it foul up everything going to the first meeting in whatever the next month is, October?
Now, unfortunately, I don't know the answer to the construction logistics of how much.
No,
that
but
changes things.
all the 6 other items, does it affect any of those? Are they on a fast track also, or?
I think the boardwalk, of the items on there, the boardwalk is the most pressing. So if it has to wait a week to get it right, it has to wait a week to get it right. The only thing I would ask is the 2 resolutions you've actually already adopted. It might be prudent to rescind those this evening and then adopt them at the same time, because otherwise you'll have an infrastructure component report that's out of sync with the redevelopment plan, and they should be adopted together to make sense.
Your call, Fred.
I understand Jennifer's concern. You can simply rescind the vote that was taken on resolutions 2019-318 and 319 this evening, and with the understanding that they will be relisted for reconsideration at the same meeting, the special meeting that will be held for the final consideration of ordinance number 2019-38.
Okay, so then procedurally, should we make a motion to table to?
Well, you still have the public hearing, and I think Pam had some more questions, so why don't you let Pam continue with her questions, and anyone else who wants to be heard, you can keep the public hearing open for...
All those questions can be asked at the public hearing also.
Well, we're still in the midst of the public hearing, so...
But I'm not looking to cut you short, Pam, but if we're going to table it, I could ask how many cows are in the pasture. It doesn't make a damn, because we're not going to vote on it tonight.
I understand that, but Pam might want to get her other points out while she's here. I'll leave that to you, Pam. Anyone else who might want to be heard tonight, with the understanding that there may not be action tonight, and it may be postponed until a special meeting next week.
Pam, if you have other questions, go ahead.
How about I just do them real fast?
Excuse me?
How about I just do them real fast? Right?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Nope, take your time.
Okay. On the parking paragraphs where it talks about the 600 feet that
I'm going to say, give us a page number, but that won't
it
help.
doesn't. You know, the upper right-hand corner says 3.1.2.1.
Okay, that
anything
helps.
like that?
Yep.
I don't know what that means, but
Okay.
okay. Most of the way down, there's a paragraph that starts allowing developers of residential units to provide off-street parking. And it says on an interim basis. But then in the detail where it describes this interim, this off-site parking, it doesn't say anything about it being interim. So it's just a temporary measure that they can provide parking 600 feet away?
We don't have that.
Where are you?
3.1.21.
I don't have 3.1.
Parking in the prime renewal area.
That's not what I have.
Is there a page number, Pam?
You deal with 2 weeks ago on this. So. But is that the title, parking in the prime renewal area?
Is she talking 3.1.2?
Yeah, okay. Allow off-site parking with limitations. Item 2. But in the verbiage, the whereases, it says it's interim. Is it interim?
I'm gonna be the bearer of bad news and say we don't have that either. So as you go with your next question, Chester, we're not gonna have that, so we're gonna have a special meeting and get everything.
No, it's interim.
3.5.
It says it in item 2, and I guess I just didn't see it. Where is it?
Okay, where's the paragraph?
It's right here.
No, but that's in the whereas clause.
Whereas says interim.
Yeah, I don't see that in there. I agree, we have the 3.5, but what she's talking about, I don't see.
And then 3.5, it should say that there, but I didn't see that it was interim. It sounds like it's a permanent solution.
I don't see anything there talking about it. where it mentions intern.
I don't see it interim. I don't see interim mentioned on mine either.
Pam, what's your next question?
On the changes to the heights of the building, looks like overall, they're going to be a little bit lower than was originally planned, which is good. But I'm wondering about the total number of units in those buildings. In the original plan, each building or each block has a number of units assigned to it. Changing the heights of the building, is that changing the number of units? And is it reducing that 3,142 number, or?
I don't think it reduces the magic number, and Michael, correct me, I don't think it reduces the magic number that was approved.
You're correct.
The 31, whatever it is. But I would think, they're going to leave it to the professionals, does it reduce the number in the building?
No. No, it does not.
So if you went from an 8-story, and I'm just throwing this out there, if you went from an 8-story building that said it could have 80 units in it, because of, but now, will a 4-story building have 80 units and the density will be like this? I don't think so either. So, I mean.
That's exactly my question.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's your next question, Pam?
That's it.
That's it? We should be prepared next week, or whenever the meeting is. I thank you for bringing it to our attention. You know what happened? This is what we got on our agenda. We didn't get any updates.
Motion to close the public hearing on 2019-38?
Or actually, I should correct that, to continue the public hearing to the date of the special meeting, because on that date.
To the next meeting or special meeting if needed.
Okay, what Fred said.
So the public hearing will be closed, it will be continued until the matter is addressed either at a special meeting or at the next regular meeting of the council, when this matter will be back on the agenda.
Okay.
But we're just closing it for this evening temporarily.
Move it.
Second. Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
We're on to the public
No,
hearing.
you need to have a motion to table now, ordinance 2019-30.
Move to table.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman? Councilmember
Yes.
Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Ordinance tabled. We're,
Now, related
But wait a
to
second,
that.
let's finish the other ones, then we'll go back and
Okay.
rescind them,
Okay.
in case
Okay.
people have questions.
we're on to ordinance 2019-39, an ordinance establishing salaries of certain employees within the city of Asbury Park, Monmouth County, New Jersey. Do I have a motion to open that to the public?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Are there any questions on 2019-39?
Yes.
Rita?
Hi. Who's certain employees? Who are they? And what does it mean?
Michael, read the, Fred, Michael.
Who
read,
are the
please.
certain employees?
It's the principal planner. It allows the increase in the maximum to adhere to the union contract.
It's not a person, it's a position.
Oh, you just do, but it goes from 30,000 to 100 and something. That's a wide range. How does it, you mean you start minimum 30,000 and you go to max 100 and something thousand?
No, it's just a range.
I know it's a range, but what kind of a range is that?
A big one.
I know. So it's not for any one certain person?
No.
No title?
The title is principal planner.
Oh. And who's that?
There's no one.
So you just did it?
We're adhering to the union contract.
Okay.
Motion to close?
Second.
All in favor? Motion to adopt 2019-39?
Move it.
Second?
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
We're on to the public hearing for 2019-40, an ordinance of the City of Asbury Park amending Chapter 7 of the Code of the City of Asbury Park regarding traffic regulations. Do I have a motion to open to the public?
Move it. Second.
All in favor?
Anybody like to be heard?
2019-40, any questions?
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adopt 2019-40.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Ordinance 2019-41, an ordinance of the City of Asbury Park amending Chapter 7 of the Code of the City of Asbury Park regarding traffic regulations. Do I have a motion to open to public?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any questions? Any members of the public, 2019-41?
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adopt 2019-41.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
No. Fred, we have to rescind two other
So
things.
it would be
Yep.
a motion to rescind resolutions 2019-318 and 2019-319, both of which deal with the waterfront, with the understanding that you're rescinding them this evening so they can be relisted for reconsideration the same night that you reopen the public hearing and have further consideration of the plan amendments that came up this evening.
Agreeable?
Two resolutions,
Right, yeah.
318 and 319.
Right.
Okay.
I do I have a motion to rescind Resolution 2019-318 and a motion to rescind 2019-319.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes. Now you can adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Move it.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.